But the fact that we got Europa League football, the fact that we are about to go through some serious change, the fact that essentially the smackdown is being laid by my owners at the moment, and I love it. I see a lot of the strange Man United fans who don't like the changes that he's making. I see him. I've actually got them here. We spoke about it on the show this morning. They don't like the first two points around age limits of 25 and no Galacticos. And it makes me giggle. And it makes me giggle because we sat here live earlier on today and we went through the last 4 seasons and we looked at Real Madrid signings and we looked at Man City signings. And I think it was 2 apiece that were over the age of 25, 26 when they signed for him. Every other signing those 2 clubs made, who are held at the pinnacle level by all of Standard FC, most of their signings are 25 years old and under. It's not a weird policy. It's one of those things that when you read it, sometimes you've got to do some research first. Do you remember when they put that stat out years ago? Pogba walks for 20 minutes of a game and everyone was up in arms. And my question the whole time has been, why we've never seen the stats for anybody else? We don't know if 20 minutes of walking as a footballer is good or bad because we've got no idea of what everybody else is doing. When you read that we're not going to sign anybody over the age of 25, my first thought is I don't think it's a blanket statement. I bet we do sign people a little bit older, but it's got to be the right person. And no Galacticos, I said it this morning. What's a Galactico? Depends on your interpretation. Do I want to sign another 30-year-old on 500 grand a week who doesn't really want to be here? No. Do I want another
Galactico?
Do I want another? Well, worse than that, do I want another? He wanted to be here. Worse than that, do I want another Alexis Sanchez or another Di Maria who admitted after days of being at the club, I shouldn't have come, I came for the money? That's what's got to stop. So Man United fans being triggered by that is crazy. The policy, it's funny. When I worked in banking, all banks had these things like called like a service charter where they promised to do things. And it used to make me feel a bit sick because it was like, we promise to treat you well. Why are we even having to say that? We should just do that as a normal thing. Man United shouldn't have to have these rules in place. But the reason that such a big deal is being made of them is because we've been run so poorly for a decade. It's almost like alien to see these things. So, yeah, look, Elise's and Branthwaite's, players like that being added to this squad this summer, I'm really excited about it, if I'm being honest. I hope we're able to pull people like this off. I really do.
Do you like this approach? Do you like this? I don't like this approach. Is getting the players before deciding who the manager is gonna be.
It doesn't matter who the manager is. That's the beauty of this approach. So for me, when you look at the other points in this, style of play is going to be set by the technical director. So therefore, he's already in. You don't need a manager.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Yes, yeah, I don't. Because the club, for me, the club has got to know how it wants to play. And then you hire a head coach to make that work. For instance, I know how I want my content to look before I have an editor. I tell the editor how I want the videos to be edited. Yeah. The editor can come in and go, I'm going to do what you've said, but if I add this and change that little, like there is room. And if you read the rules, if you want to call them that, it does say here that the manager gets to select what positions need to be strengthened. INEOS will then send a list of the potential signings to the manager and he gets to pick which ones. So there isn't no input from the manager, but it's a club standard. The reason why the club standard needs to remain is, let's say we go and bring in, say we get De Zerbi this summer.
Yes.
In fact, no. Let's say we stay with Ten Hag, so we don't trigger anybody. We stay with Ten Hag. He helps the club pick 3 or 4 more players. We start playing his football, and then Barcelona offer him a job and he leaves. Then we have to start again. Maybe the new guy that comes in that now gets control goes, I don't like 10 of these players. You're going, what we need to do is have a club standard so that when a manager comes in, when we employ that manager, we already know they want to work with this squad because they know that's how we play football. And it's the profile of players we've got. I think it makes it easier to find a manager. It means you're not going through rebuilds every other year. That, for me, at least in the short to medium term, is the most sensible way for us to go.
No, let me tell you. No, hold on. No. I'm sorry. Who knows football more, the coach or the sporting director? Coaching wise, formation, movement, and stuff like this. Who knows more?
Coaches, of course.
All right, that's number one. So the ones that are more educated. That's why, Terry, in your content, you're more educated than the editor because you have been in the industry and you are the one who's presenting the content. So at the end, coaches are the ones that are educated more on football. And I want to understand the style of play thing that this article or whatever was talking about, right? Because a style of play means a formation, way to attack, way to defend, and all the stuff, right? all these things. This is what is called coaching, right? There is other things which are how to teach a forward how to strike the ball, how to teach a defender
Yeah, but
the
that's not
body.
what's said,
Hold on,
Mo.
hold on, hold on.
Why do you always take it to the
Can
next
you let
level?
me
Why?
talk, bro? Can you let me talk?
Wilcox
Why
is
you
not gonna
cutting
coach
me
the
off,
team,
bro?
Mo.
Bro, this is not immature, bro. Can you just let me talk, bro?
Can you stop waffling?
No, I'm trying to explain
Wilcox
the
is
point,
not
bro.
gonna
What
coach
is
the
this?
team.
Can you wait? Can you wait? Can you let me finish my point so you can respond with your waffle, whatever? Okay, very simple, right? Pep Guardiola is the one who decided who he wants to play, and the club said, "We like your way. Come in and establish that. We'll help you with the players. We'll help you with the players." Jurgen Klopp came in. He didn't have a say in the transfers because he doesn't know. He has the back idea.
Correct.
He's the one who said, "I want to play this brand of football. Can you help me establish that? But your scouts and your data and all the stuff." But he's the one who came, and everything changed at the club. The club didn't tell Jurgen Klopp, by the way, you're coming in to play this way. The club didn't tell.
So Mo, so there's a few things there. Let me just sorry, I'll come to you in a second.
You get my point, right?
I totally get your point, but that's because you're doing a few things here. You're taking a very watered down article because they probably know more than they're telling us, and you're making every statement very blanket. Of course, the manager is going to have an influence on how we play, but there has to be a base of how we want to play. And what I mean by that is you can't go from a Moyes to an LVG to a Jose to an Ollie to a Ten Hag and Ten Hag playing a style of football that he's not accustomed to. That is too wishy-washy and they're too different from each other. So there needs to be almost a baseline of how you play, first and foremost. Of course, a manager can come in and adapt and change certain bits and say, look, we are still playing attacking football. We're still playing possession-based football, but I want to play 3 at the back instead of a back 4. I'm sure there's going to be room for sort of their own interpretations and ad lib into things. I think that will exist. Okay. However, when you give the Liverpool and the Pep Klopp example and the Pep and Man City, first of all, Pep quite openly said in press conferences we've signed players before that I don't know.
Yes,
that he doesn't handle that area of things.
Alvarez, prime example.
This is very known. This is known.
Yeah, exactly. So Man City decide on who the players are going to be. The manager then coaches them. I like that approach. However, as well, when Liverpool and City respectively brought Pep and Klopp in, their clubs were already built a foundation since the new ownership had been in place. Man United have to start again from scratch. So I think you have to be more autocratic in your approach at the beginning of a rebuild compared to maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the line. Say in 6 years' time, we're doing really well. We've won a Premier League. We're a really good team again. And then we go for, let's just say it's Xabi Alonso, who's seen as the best manager in the world at this point. If we then go for him, there might be an even bigger adaptation of how we play or a little bit more control given to him because there's now a foundation to support it. So I understand where you're coming from, but you're giving examples of clubs that are almost at their end result after multiple years of building up a foundation and building up a club structure. Man United are literally gussing it all out and starting again from scratch. And you'll know, you've worked in business at a very high level, Mo, that when you've got a department that's in trouble versus a department that's flying and performing, there's a very different approach in how you manage it in the beginning compared to the end.
Yes, there is a different approach. One second.
Did you say Osam?
Habibi, this is not the most. Stop talking. This is my turn.
Did you say Osam?
This is my turn.
He said Mo.
You're waffling. You've waffled enough this stream. You've waffled enough.
He said Mo, and then Osam is like, I'm Mo now.
I worked as well as a chemical engineer, and Terry's 100% right. My department, I was given more power. I was giving people days off. I was signing on stuff. I was responsible for 51 people in my department because my department was very organized. We were working really well. Everything went exactly as planned. Terry, can you please put up the graphic again? Because I want to tell Mo why he's waffling. Put up the same graphic that you put up with the 3 points. Style of play, the third point. Style of play to be set by technical director Jason Wilcox. Okay, so now let's read that. Let's analyze that statement. That statement does not say Jason Wilcox is going to go to the new manager or Ten Hag or whoever and go like, yeah, we're going to play 4-2-3-1 and you're going to invert the right back. And stop waffling. This is where you're waffling, Mo. Here's the thing. The Man United approach is 100% correct. Terry used the editor example. Terry goes to his editor. He goes like, okay, this is what I want you to do. I have this concept in mind. It's up to the editor to execute it, but it's still Terry's concept. So think about it this way. So me, I go to Vel, the guy who makes my thumbnails. I'm like, Well, I'm making a new transfer show. I have 1, 2, 3 in plan. You execute it. You get me? Or you could just steal a thumbnail and pretend no one notices, but that's a different thing for a different day. Thing is, when it comes to transfers, I am 100% behind every club that wants to have the people in structure making decisions. I'll tell you why. Exactly what Terry just said. Imagine Ten Hag leaves. Imagine it's Potter. Imagine it's De Zerbi. Imagine it's any manager. If you have a specific structure and style, it works. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool, first 4 years, Champions League winners, Premier League winners, everything winners. Why? Michael Edwards. Why? Transfer decisions that are smart. Klopp, I want Branton Godza. Michael Edwards, no, we're going to get you Salah and Mane. The rest is history. The 4 years after that, Klopp and Linders are making transfer decisions. 1 FA Cup and 2 Carabao Cups as the result of the second 4-year period. So this is why you need smart people making smart decisions. Now, if you're Ratcliffe, think about this logically. Let's break this down logically. 1 + 1 = 2. If you're Ratcliffe, you hire Dan Ashworth, you hire Barada, you hire Jason Wilcox, you hire people who are experienced in that position and can make the smart decisions. So you give them the correct amount of power without abusing the manager's power. Meaning, if Jason Wilcox goes to manager X, regardless, as Terry said, let's even imagine it's Ten Hag. If Jason Wilcox goes to manager X and goes like, I want you to invert the right back, that's when you're 100% right. If he goes to him and says, play 4-2-3-1 instead of 4-3-3, you're 100% right. But if he tells the manager, I want Man United to play an attacking style of football, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it should be.
Nothing wrong with it. You literally waffled and you could have said one word. Style of play means attacking or defending. You spoke for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. You waffled a lot, and I agree. Don't cut me off. I didn't cut you off. Don't cut me off, please. I didn't cut you off. Listen, you waffled for 2.5 minutes and literally said that. I want people to make smart decisions. I agree, and I said that. I want people to make signings. I agreed, and I said that as well. I only disagreed with the style of play. You said at the end, a style of play is attacking or defending. We all agree. Man United should play attacking football. Man United is a big club, should be imposing their will. Very, very simple. So the reason why they're saying this, okay, what is a style of play? Is they want this formation or whatever thing. I don't know. You get a coach to play that style of play. You decide the style of play.
You're drowning. You're drowning right now.
Absolutely not.
You are.
Guys, all what he said is the style of play is attack. Bro, just let me talk. All what you said, Hussam, that is useful is the style of play is attacking or defending. I agree.
Yes.
Fine. That's it.
Do you think
Man United? Okay, hold on. Do you think Man United tomorrow will hire a coach that will play defensive brand of football? Yes or no?
No.
That's it. Done. We all agree.
Okay. So what's
there
your
is
problem?
no need. There is no need for. So there has to be a style of play. Has to be something else.
Okay.
Very simple. That's it.
No. Again, but the problem with this conversation is that I think that there are moments where we're expanding, and there are moments when we're being complete and utter reductionist. Jason Wilcox's job isn't just to sit there all year being paid millions of pounds to say, I want defensive or attacking football. It's going to be far more nuanced and complex than that. There will be a lot more that goes into it. He'll also be overlooking to make sure the training is being done in the right way to ensure that that style of football is being produced. All that's now happening at football clubs, and for me, it's staggering how hard this is for a lot of, I'm not talking about you two, for people to comprehend, is that what Wilcox and Dan Ashworth will be doing collectively, coupled with the new head coach or Ten Hag, is just what Fergie used to do by himself. Fergie was the sporting director, the technical director, and the first team coach, or the head coach. But managers of his generation were trained to do all those jobs. Yeah. Managers in the modern day game, in my personal opinion, are not. Especially a lot of coaches that come from particular countries on the continent whose clubs have been structured in this way for the last 50, 60, 70 years or since their inception. They're not, a lot of people, that's why when you watch European football, I'm not too sure if the graphics still do it. As a kid, I used to go, Dad, why does it say head coach and not manager? Because most clubs don't have managers, they have head coaches. And that's what Man United are looking to employ, a head coach who is going to coach the first team. I hate the fact that another thing that I'm looking forward to doing that isn't even mentioned in this list is our first team have played a different brand of football from our academy for nearly a decade. We're one of the only top clubs in the world that has that happen, where the kids get brought up and develop playing a particular style, and then they get into the first team and it's different. It's absolutely crazy how poorly
and you think Wilcox should decide that? That's what you think.
Again, I mean, that's his job.
You both are sitting here, Wilcox, uneducated football man in coaching.
Why is it? Why is he?
Why
is? But again, but this is where you're getting confused. You don't need to be a coach to set what you want.
Okay.
I don't need to be an architect or a builder to tell my architect and builder for my extension on my house how I want it to look. Their job is to work out how to do it. I don't need to worry about the technical side. Wilcott doesn't need to know how to coach it. He has got to set the agenda.
But he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it.
How do you know this?
Educated on styles.
How do you know this? How do you know?
Can you tell me his credentials?
Have you seen his
coach? As a coach,
you don't need to be
a football coach.
You don't need to be a coach.
Is he a tactical person?
Hang on a minute. Answer me this question. So why do you have to? So you know all of the presidents that run football clubs, have they been coaches?
No. That's why they don't know. That's why when presidents get involved in decision making on the pitch, it fails.
Yes, but
Florentino Perez, Roman Abramovich, Sheikh Mansour,
they don't get involved in decision. You think Roman Abramovich got involved with Mourinho and who to play and how to play?
Wilcox is gonna tell the manager to invert a right back or play a specific formation.
That's what Terry. That's what Terry said.
No, Terry's not arguing that. The manager.
I'm gonna tell you what Terry's saying. Okay.
Let me just explain.
No. I'm not gonna let you. This is what I understand from Terry.
Mo, 1 second. So Jason Walcott, not only was he a Premier League winning football player for Blackburn, this guy played 300 plus league career games. He also managed at Manchester City. So he was a coach at the lower levels as an example. And then he has worked his way through other different ranks. So he has coaching badges. He's been a professional football player that has won the Premier League. He's a very qualified football person.
Okay.
He has then worked in technical roles for clubs like Manchester City at the same time. He understands football. He's been a football player. So instantly, there's credibility in what he does.
Okay, if that's the case, yes.
But what I'm also going to say to you is this: it's also a trickle-down effect, isn't it?
Yes.
So he's going to go in and be the technical director. He is going to run that department, which is essentially their job is to ensure that a certain style of football is played at Man United through every single level. And his job will be to make sure that the scouts and the recruitment teams are focusing on players that bring that style to life. That's what he's going to be in charge of. Then he's going to have his bosses, which are the likes of Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada, who are then going to be listening to what the owners say, which is we want to play a nice brand of football that's X, Y, and Z that generates this outcome. And then you trickle it down. I don't understand why Man United suddenly having a structure with football decision makers is being challenged, but every other single fucking big club in the world does it, and everyone says it's normal.